Today is the day. Yes, you heard me right. Today is the day. I am Waddles. Welcome back to the Let's Play series, now episode 45. Last episode, we set up this wonderful, amazing looking area with the excess storage room, which, by the way, look in there. I filled in all of the chests in between the episodes, cut down one jungle tree, and boom, I had enough to make the rest of the chests that I needed. Today is the day. It is the day. Now, what day is it? Today is the day I begin to grind zombies, but not for XP. Just for their loot, and I'm not going to do it our normal way. I'm going to experiment a little bit today, something I probably should have done quite some time ago, but I never did, because I didn't really need to. So if you do remember, in the world tour, I showed off where... here it is. In the world tour, I showed off this zombie grinder over here that I am now getting to. And right before this episode, I did a tiny bit of digging out in here. And we're going to use this zombie grinder for an experiment involving magma blocks. Don't know how it's going to go. I've never really tried to use these for a grinding method, so this could be absolutely inefficient, but I just want to tinker around with it on camera and see, really what we can get done with the magma blocks and how I could maybe incorporate these into a design. So before the episode, I also went to the Nether and harvested the magma blocks. I actually had never dug up magma blocks. I didn't even really realize that. But now we have that thing, and I need to dig this room a little bit lower, actually. I'm not quite done with my work, so I'll dig first and explain later. That sounds like a plan, right? Yeah. It has been dug out. I have I think this is 11 by 11 room in here. It's 5 out from the spawner. Much bigger than the spawner's spawn radius of something like 8 by 3 up and down by 8. That is the amount of area that this spawner can actually spawn things in. So this room is way bigger, than we would need. And that's because I want to try letting these things spawn and then fall into a water stream, which will be down there. I'm going to put the water probably up here in the wall so it'll reach over to one side, right? We might have to go 2 up in the wall. I think it would reach all the way then. I'm not sure, but what I want to do is put water and push them all to one side. Probably that side, because this is the way that our base is. And I want to try and kill these things with magma blocks. I don't really need XP from these things because we have our poison spider grinder and the skeleton grinder for that. I don't think I will ever really want to grind zombies for XP. That's not how that works. What if we did that? No, that's not really how that works either. No, that's not it either. I'm completely blanking on how to get this water to go all the way over to the one side. But I guess it doesn't need to go all the way. It just needs to go so I can have 2 spaces. So if we put the water there and then do that, that should be perfect. Okay, so what I've been trying to get at with the goal of this experiment is figuring out a new way to grind zombies. A way that I can grind these things without having to raise them up 22 blocks or 24 blocks and then drop them and let them die like that. That's easy enough, but I want to experiment with a new way, and that new way is going to involve magma blocks. So these spawners have their spawn radius of 8 by 3 by 8. And then there's a detection radius of 9 by 9 by 9, I do believe it is. So 9 blocks in every direction, and if there is a zombie in that area, it won't spawn another cluster of zombies. So it'll spawn the 3, right? And then it'll start looking to see once those zombies are gone, 10 seconds after. And then it'll try and spawn another one. So what I want to do is move the mobs out of that little 9 by 9 by 9 box and into a killing place fast enough for them to spawn again. In simple terms, what all that means is I'm trying to create an efficient farm without having to raise and drop them. I don't want to do that because that's what I always do. So what I'm thinking is we pretty much move them all over to one spot like normal, like we would always do with a grinder. But then we just let them fall onto a magma block. Like down here, we just put magma blocks, right? I think that's how we could do it. I don't think it will be this easy. I feel like that would be like way too easy of a thing, but way down here would be out of that detection radius that I was just talking about. So in theory, they should spawn and fall down here and then just die, right? And then I can collect their loot. This can't be that easy, and I'm gonna actually decrease this wall. I'm thinking if we put a hopper minecart underneath this block, the zombies will die, and then the hopper minecart just picks it up, and then we could put a normal hopper right underneath that minecart going into a chest. This is the new entrance to our test, I guess, pickup area, we'll call it. But what I want to do, like I've been saying, is we're going to have the zombies fall onto a magma block that I'm about to place down there. And then to get the items from the block, like the zombies will die on the block. So say our magma block sits right here. Then we can't put a hopper right underneath the block, because this would be fully closed off, or we have glass there or something, and the hopper won't pick anything up from underneath the block. So to solve that problem, I'm thinking we can put a rail and then a hopper minecart right there, and that should pick the items up through the block. So if we have a torch there, it picks it up, throws it in this chest. No problem, just like that. So I guess the step now is to just test the thing. I'm going to knock the torches out and see what's going to happen. What is going to determine our next step is how long these mobs actually take to die. If they take a really long time to die on those magma blocks, then we're going to need to figure out something a little more efficient that we could do. Now, obviously these rates aren't going to be amazing. I don't have all the caves lit up over here, but eventually we'll have everything lit up in this area. So now we just have to figure out exactly how long it's going to take these mobs to die when they fall on these magma blocks. Like, I'm talking in terms of seconds. Like, how many seconds will it take to die? And would it be worth, like, putting a crusher in here? Because we could easily put in a crusher system, but then we could get mobs on top of the crusher system, therefore possibly still in that detection radius and slowing down our rates. Let's see. So from watching these zombies and, like, timing them roughly a few times, it seems like it takes about 20 or so seconds for these things to die on the magma block, which isn't absolutely amazing or wonderful. I would like it to be faster, but we are getting the drops from these things too, so I don't think this is a bad start at all to what we have going down here. Obviously we would make something nicer to come down here, but it seems to be working, and working fairly well. So what I would need to do is come up with something to do on the surface over here, a reason to be over here, because this thing would just be active. We don't need to do anything with it. I could make some kind of AFK farm or some kind of just project to build over here, maybe. Maybe we could make something based around this zombie spawner. It is pretty far from the swamp. Perhaps we could set up some kind of city over here eventually. I am honestly not too sure, but that is all of the experimenting that I wanted to get done today. The thing seems to work fairly well. I'll have to come back and think about what I want to do on the surface, how I want to mark the thing, but that brings us back to this area. I want to develop this area just a little bit more today. I'm thinking about adding a horse stable in over here, and kind of interestingly, this point where I'm standing right here is at 73, y equals 73, and this is the highest point in all of our swamp, like excluding that because that's not in the swamp. This is the highest point, so that's kind of cool. I think we should probably do something a little more special with this hill, or at least that point. Maybe we could put a marker. So this is hard to work with over here. I'm not too sure what I want to do. I was thinking about a road kind of cutting through here along the spider. I definitely don't want to block the spider yet, and really we have everything so tightly packed in here that I don't have like an extra room for a building. So what I was thinking is that area up there that I was just talking about will have this road kind of cut into a diagonal and go up towards up here, because this is definitely room to build things. And then we'll have another road kind of continue in front of the spider going that way, however far that way we need. But what I'm thinking is probably over here. We could, well, on second thought, I like this plot of land right here for a horse stable. We could have it sit right here in this corner, just something very small, like the brick one, but matching this building style. And it can just kind of overlook this whole little corner. That would be a nice little, like, cornerstone up here, especially if the paths split. That would be a nice little thing in there, because then we could fill trees around it, probably. So I really like my normal 3x3 horse stable design. That's just perfect for, like, compactness. So that's the size we're going with here. And then pretty much, you know, just combining the blocks here. This should be a really easy build. And I'm thinking about working with the hill here and leaving this, or making this hill sort of more shaped around this particular build. It works. He stays in there. It looks okay to me. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of neat, kind of different. It definitely incorporates all of those blocks, so I'm pretty happy with it. I really do like how this little area is coming together. But with all of that, that is today's episode. I'm glad the experimentation worked out on that zombie design, and I am definitely going to have to fill in some plant life in here between the episodes. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. So maybe next time we come back and it looks all nice. But thank you so much for watching this shorter episode, and I will see you next time, you guys. Bye-bye.